everyone, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. My name's Tech Corsa, and right now I'm going to kind of be explaining the next phase of my space program. It's to put a orbital refinery or orbital fuel depot around the Mun. And I figure the Mun's going to be the best because the transfer between Kerbin and Mun is typically a little bit easier than the transfer between Kerbin and Menus. But that being said, before I can do any of that, I need to be able to mine the fuel and refine it. And that requires the advanced science tech, which, in its right, is expensive with science. And in order to get that, I need either the scanning tech or field science. Field science is a bunch of rover parts and a couple of surface experiments. And scanning tech allows me to scan for ore from orbit. It also has a couple of science experiments as well. Actually, it has more science experiments. Beside the point, though. So basically, I'm going to have to hit scanning tech and then advanced science tech. But in addition to that, I want to be able to put together a station in orbit from multiple parts, and the easiest way to do that is with an orbital constructor. And in order to have an orbital constructor, I need to have advanced grabbing units, which needs the actuator, which needs advanced construction. There's only a couple of things in advanced construction that I want, but mostly beside the point. And something else that's going to help me along the way is going to be hypersonic flight, which has two really big engines. One is a jet engine, the Whiplash, which is the best and probably most fuel efficient at high speeds jet engine, and the Dart liquid fuel engine, which is a pretty good liquid fuel rocket for its size. Other things that I kind of want, not necessarily need, but really do want, is heavy aerodynamics for, let's see, the OPT form factor with the cargo bay or cargo ramp, and the Mark III form factor, and all of its glory. Yeah, that's the main things that I need. Or, not necessarily need on the heavy aerodynamics, more like want. It'll also make delivering parts to orbit a lot easier. But anyways, regardless of what I get in what order, I still need a whole bunch of science. I'm figuring between 1,500 and 2,000 science, and probably around 4 million funds, just to give me some wiggle room so I can still send stuff into space. So that being said, what I'm going to be doing is going heavy on the tourism, and I'm going to science the hell out of Kerbin. So what I have for the science portion of this is the science jet. I made this thing off camera and tested it off camera to make sure that it actually flies fairly well. But every science experiment that I have available to me is here in this cargo bay. And I also have this little passenger door right here, which is going to allow me to pull people out of the crew cabin here and let them come over here and reset the experiment. Specifically, Bill, my not Bill, Bob. Two B's. I just get them confused. So I've got Bob Kerbin, who's on board, who's going to be able to go reset the experiments. Bill's my engineer on board, and Jebediah is my pilot. But yeah, so I'm going to be taking this plane and hitting every science location on Kerbin that is possible for me to grab. It's going to work better than the VTOL that I tried a few episodes ago, and I'm going to be able to hit more spots more quickly because it does have the best jet I currently have available to me. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah, guess it's time for me to get science. Alright, well, I didn't get all of the science available on the planet, but I recovered around 100 or so science experiments. I still have 3 different biomes with a whole bunch of experiments to complete on them. But 895 science should be enough for now to at least unlock a couple of couple of the research nodes that I needed. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna construct a jet that flies fast and can go places for tourists. Alright, well, I've been having some problems with the tourism contracts because they're requiring me to go into low Kerbal orbit around 75 kilometers above sites on the surface of Kerbal. And I've been having trouble getting space planes up into that altitude. So I'm going to shift gears and start work on different ones that are going to bring more funds. I'm hoping that this is going to work. So the contract that I'm attempting is the Kerbal power landing. So really all I have to do is get the probe above 500 meters and then land it next to this little spot up here, the black monolith. You activate the navigation. It doesn't put anything, but I know it is right over there. You can kind of see it in the distance. Kind of blends in with the sky. Let me zoom out a little bit. It's right there. So let's X, cut off our thrust, activate our engine, and throttle up just a little bit so we can start getting off the launch pad. Too much. Oh, SCS on. Okay, there we go. Over 500 meters. Now we just gotta get over there. Which is gonna be more difficult than it sounds. I suppose I could just make a rover and drive over here and then pick up.
thrust. Okay, now I just need to land. Oh, we did it. Awesome. I don't remember how many funds that was actually supposed to net me. Let's check our alerts. Oh, it was only 37,000 funds. Well, we got something done. Okay, so we have the orbital dropship. I've used this one before. It gets high enough up out of the atmosphere that it's easy to launch a probe, which is what I'm going to do. I've added more fuel to this one because I want to be able to make adjustments once I get into orbit of Minmus to get a polar orbit. So I can do biome scans, radar scans, different types of terrain scans. I've basically updated my ScanSat probe to include as much ScanSat equipment, surveillance equipment, as possible, and I also left the relay antenna on top of it. So I'm going to put this thing into a polar orbit of Minmus. Since you've seen me put orbs, yes, probes in orbit, which is what I was trying to say. I don't know why that came out as orbs. But anyways, since you've seen me put probes in orbit of Minmus before, I'll just cut to the interesting bits. But anyways, let's get to it. Well, I found out how I'm gonna get science, so I had a little you just saw me put the little satellite in a polar orbit around Minmus and scan the entirety of the planet's surface. Well, I also had a couple of science experiments that I could run. So, yeah, I ran those science experiments and transmitted them to the Kerbal Station. So 92 data processed into a lab turns into 552 science. So 92 science turns into 552 science. So wait, did that make my science go up? What do I do now? Oh wait, there we go. So I'm getting a whole bunch of science per day. I can't remember how much that was before I started processing it. But I should be able to start transmitting science and have an increased rate of science. No power. Did I forget to... I forgot to include satellites, or not satellites. I do not have any solar panels on this. Whoops. So I wouldn't be able to transmit that. Ah, crap. It's okay. I've got this big guy here. So what I can do is send up a solar panel array and just connect it to this. Eventually, I'm going to deorbit this thing and put up a proper station instead of this little makeshift thing. But that's for later. Let me get the solar panels on this, and then I'll transmit the data, and then we'll have as much data as we could ever want. Alright, well, I have the solar panels attached now. I had some difficulty because I don't actually have docking ports. I've got inline docking ports, so I had to make do. But anyways, now I have science being gained by the mobile operating lab. It's going to take several days before this gets finished. So yeah, I mean, I'll have to check in on it every once in a while, but once it hits 800 science, I'll gather that science, and I'll never have to worry about science again. I'm kidding, I'm always gonna have to worry about science. Alright, I'm gonna check on the missions that I have available, and then I'll make some decisions from there. Alright, so I do have an idea of what I'm going to do next. So I've got a pair of probes. One of them is to crash on Minmus, and the other is to crash on Minmus at a specific target. I think I can collect both of those at the same time. And then there's crashing a probe on the Mun on a specific target. I'm thinking that I can crash it on Minmus is going to be the easiest way to do this, so I'm going to go figure out how to get that probe into orbit. Alright, here we go. 2 little satellites ready to launch. Here we go. I think after I make this burn, I'm not going to have any more contact with this probe because it's going to kind of go behind the Mun. Alright, lost all control of the probe. Oh no. I should have known. Well, I waited a few days, about 3 days actually, trying to get this to come around so it was in communication range of Kerbin. And then I realized that it functions exactly like our moon does. So this crater right here, for example, is always opposite of Kerbin. Or, well, just this side of the moon is always opposite of Kerbin. So no matter where it is in its cycle, this spot is never going to have communications access to Kerbin. My only other option at this point, if this doesn't work, is deploy a scanning probe with a relay to the Mun, so I can actually control this probe up until its very last moments. Let's see, 2 minutes left. Need to reactivate the probe. Okay, so let's just kind of get forward a little bit. I do not like it when it stutters like that. 40, 30, 20... Alright, here we go. Okay. Kill the node. Kerbal alarm clock, you can just go up there in the corner. Okay, so it looks like it's gonna be close. Can I set that as my navigation point? Alright, I just need to watch it until I start losing communication. I mean, I guess I could come out in a wider orbit. Or maybe come from a reverse? It's too late for that, though. Okay. Let's see if I've predicted this good enough. Okay, I'm gonna predict that it's gonna be a little bit further out. There? About to lose communications with the satellite, so let's do this. Okay, no control on the satellite. I have no idea where the target is. Am I gonna overshoot it? Yeah, didn't do it. How the hell am I supposed to hit that spot? Alright. Well, let me think about this for a moment. Well, I decided that I was going to use MechJeb to do the job for me. Well, it looks like it's working. Alright, well, I'm hoping that this is going to work. Because if not, well, it's too bad, so sad. Alright. Let's check and see if that worked. Doesn't say that I completed it, so it didn't do it. Crap. Alright, here we go. Now it's gonna blow up. That actually completed it! Oh my god! Okay, so I'm gonna cut out a bunch of my failed attempts, but this is so pinpoint accurate that there is no way, period, no way, that I'm gonna be able to do this without cheating. Hell, MechJeb couldn't land precisely on that target enough to cause it to trigger the quest to finish, or contract to finish. Holy crap. So MechJeb couldn't do it, but HyperEdit could. Man, that was a pitta. Alright, well I figured out that my second Minmus was actually a land here, not a explode here. So I just picked a random spot and I'm choosing to explode there. Time warp. Here it goes. Oh, it's so close. Don't lag on me now. Where was the boom? I was expecting a kaboom. Ah, whatever. Okay, so lesson learned. Even on little junky satellites like that, they need solar panels. Okay, let's see. How much does it cost? 3.38. I need quite a bit more. But look at all the science that we have now. Let's go actually check up on the station. Wow, we've almost maxed out on the number of science it can hold. But I turned what was gonna be a few hundred science into over 1,000. So let's speed up through this so it'll hit 800. Okay, it maxes out and it pauses. Okay, so let's go ahead and transmit our science. Oh, well, that's gonna take a while. Much? Ooh, yes. Yes! Haha! So now I need to get the last probably $500,000 funds. Let's see if there's something offered in here that I can quickly do. Already got that. Is it gonna give me credit for it? Because that's a lot of money if it's just gonna give it to me. Oh my god, it gave me credit. Oh, that is wonderful. Upgrade. Woohoo! And we have the target number of science. 2, I mean, that's amazing. Alright, well I got what I need and I'm going to continue looking at the rest of what I can upgrade. But for now, that's going to be it for this episode. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe for all of my video updates. Thank you guys so very much for watching, and have yourselves a very good day.